started, I think the best thing happened unintentionally anyway. So Raja was very kind and open to help, to really give us an introduction. So I think Bing would be much better introducing himself scientifically than I could do. So I'll pass it on.
Thank you very much. My name is Umino. Today I will be talking about our e-learning software for contemporary dance using 3D motion data. First of all, let me mention about myself. I'm temporarily working on the Western Research Center of the School of Media and Performing Arts. I'm a professor of Tokyo University in Japan. My university transferred me to your university just a year for research. And I came here at the end of last March, and I will have to go back to Japan at the end of next March. And my specialty is informatics. Informatics is an interdisciplinary research field which traversed between humanities and sciences. And I belong to the faculty of sociology of my university. And I have been working on education, dance art, and computer science. This is a comparison between Middlesex University and Toyo University. Toyo University is one of the oldest university of Japan, and it founded in 1887, and the number of students is about 30,000. These pictures are the campus and the building where my room is located. The campus is located right in front of the capital city. And this is the content of my today's presentation. I will start about the purpose of our project and the hypotheses of this study. We have been working on dance education and dance creation using 3D motion data. I will be talking about the data in detail later. But this project is not so big. Actually, the member of the project are only 2, including me. And the budget of subsidy I have received is small, as you can see. And the data were captured from performances by professional dancers. And until now, we have captured 3 genres of dance. We started to capture classical ballet in 1999. After that, we began to capture contemporary dance. We have also captured hip-hop dance from 2011. This study is a part of our broader research project for dance art. The study focuses on contemporary dance, especially on education of contemporary dance choreography. I'm sorry that here is no dance staff here today, but the study focuses on dance, contemporary dance. I will tell you about the evaluation experiment for the previous version of the software because the latest version has not been evaluated yet. But I want to show you the latest version at the end of my presentation. We developed an e-learning software for contemporary dance choreography. Using the software, a user can select a particular motion of body part separately, such as arms, head, legs, or upper body. After user selection, the software automatically composes a few second dance movements as seeds or hints of choreography. The movements can be previewed as 3D CG animation. We made 3 hypotheses about the software. It is useful for students to discover new movements of dance. It is useful for students to learn a new choreographic method. Students can refine the dance sequences composed by the software to create their own original artistic dance. There are 2 basic concepts of the software: analytic synthetic choreography and discovery learning. We named our method of composition of dance as analytic synthetic choreography. In this method, motion data of dance movements are segmentalized into short elemental motions. After that, these dance segments are synthesized into new movements to create new choreography. This method does not need any feelings, emotions, narratives, or musical elements as resources of choreography. The method focuses on human body movement and its structure. We were inspired by a number of epoch-making choreographers in the 20th century. One of them is Mark Cunningham, who is a prominent American choreographer. He explored to make new dance movements without any feelings, narratives, or music. His work are also disconnected with music. Here are pictures of him and his works. This independent from concrete references in the real world is one of the essential characteristics of contemporary dance. He also used computer technology in the 1990s. Analytic synthetic choreography is an extension of his idea. Discovery learning is a concept of pedagogy. It means that learning is more effective if learners discover something for themselves. It is a very common sense method nowadays. There are pictures of famous advocates of discovery learning. From the left, John Dewey, a philosopher, John Bruner, a psychologist, and Seymour Papert, a computer scientist, who is a pioneer of artificial intelligence and is an inventor of logo programming language. This learning method is very appropriate for dance students to find their original way of creation, because contemporary dance has no traditional or canonical way for creation. For example, ballet has very strong constraints of poses and movements. Then it has a strong canonical way. But contemporary dance always pursues non-derivative vocabulary. We design the software to promote discovery learning of contemporary dance choreography. There are 3 requirements for the software. First, it must encourage students to find new movements of contemporary dance. Second, it must encourage students to learn new choreographic methods. Third, it must provide students with a prototype of choreography which they can modify into their own creative works. These 3 requirements correspond to the 3 hypotheses I told you earlier. Next, I am talking about the data and the software in detail. As I mentioned, the data were captured from performances by professional dancers. Unfortunately, we have no available motion capture systems in our own university. So we always hire motion capture systems in another universities. We use an optical motion capture system with about 30 markers on dancer's body. At the beginning of the project in 1999, we used magnetic motion capture systems like that, but we shifted to an optical one because the data captured by optical system can be processed more easily. She is a famous ballet dancer, and she used to be a principal dancer of Scottish ballet in Glasgow. Her name is Julie Shinohara. And these are pictures of capturing scene using optical system. She is a leading dancer of contemporary dance in Japan, and she's also a leading choreographer in Japan. We created an original 3D model in 2001. Here is a diagram of the structure of human body, which is used to create 3D CG animation. The model is based on H-anim standard. H-anim standard is an international standard of human animation, which was proposed by Web3D Consortium in 1990s, and which is standardized by ISO, International Organization for Standardization. It has hierarchical structures with 20 joint objects, 20 segment objects, and 5 side objects. In this diagram, circles represent joints. Sticks represent segments, and squares represent sides. And the center of structure is called humanoid root joint, double circle. The motion data consists of 2 types of information: rotation information and traveling information. There are 30 frames per second. For each joint in each frame, there are 20 rotation information. The rotation information is presented as 4 tanions. On the top of that, for each frame, there is one traveling information of a humanoid root joint. It is represented as a three-dimensional vector. Following the method of analytic synthetic choreography, we segmentalized the motion data into short movement and made 128 basic motion clips. The duration of clip is about 3 seconds to 8 seconds. We selected 40 motion clips from 128 for e-learning tool so that every motion pose can be looked at once on a tablet. The 40 motions are categorized into 3 groups according to the potential for synthesis. 10 base motions, 6 blend motions, and 24 body part motions. A base motion is a whole body movement which can be basis of synthesis. A blend motion is and also whole body movement which can be blended into a base motion. This group consists of mainly hip movements. And a body part motion is a movement of a particular body part, such as arms, shoulders, neck, upper body, like that. We call the software body part motion synthesis system, or BMSS. We use Unity as the creation system and the environment, development environment. And the system automatically synthesizes a number of motion clips to create new dance movements. It uses 2 methods of synthesis, blend and replace. In the way of blend, a selected motion is blended to a base motion. For example, when bending knee motion is selected as a base motion, and rolling hip is selected as blend motion. The synthetic result is bending knees motion with rolling hip. For each joint in every frame, the quaternion of blend motion is added to the quaternion of base motion to create new rotation information. On the top of that, for each frame, the 3D vectors of 2 motions are added together to create new traveling information. In the way of replace, the system replaces motions of specific body parts with different motions. For example, whichever base motion is selected, if waving arms is selected as a body part motion, the synthetic result is a motion with waving arms. In this case, for selected joints in every frame, the quaternions of base motion are replaced by the quaternions of body part motion to create new rotation information. But the traveling information doesn't change because body part motion has no traveling information. The software runs on a tablet with touch input, like this. And but this is the latest version. The cause of 40 motions are listed as buttons on the display so that a user can look at all 40 motions at once. After selection of blend, base, and body part motions, the result of synthesis is immediately displayed as 3D CG animation with avatar. The viewpoint can be changed. User can rotate the stage with dragging and zoom in and out with pinching in and out. Some movement can be also selected by touching, pinching, flicking, or dragging. I will show you a short finished video. This is an iPad version. You can select motions of a body part with touching, pinching, or flicking, double touching, like that. Now we move on to experiments. To verify the first and the second hypotheses, we conducted an experiment with university students who were studying contemporary dance choreography in universities. 18 participants consisted of 10 students of University of Tsukuba in Japan and 8 students of University of California, Irvine in the US. 16 female students and 2 male students. And there are 11 postgraduate students and 7 undergraduate students. The experiments took about 90 minutes. After brief instruction of the software, they composed short movements as scenes of choreography using the software. After that, they were asked to create a dance sequence, their own original dance sequence, connecting and arranging the short movements. After rehearsal, they performed their own original sequence in front of video camera. At the end of the experiment, they were asked to fill the questionnaire. As a result of the experiment, the duration of performance is 17 seconds to 53 seconds, with average of 27 seconds. The number of short movements the student used are 5 to 10, with average of 7. In the questionnaire, the students were requested to evaluate the effectiveness of the software for 3 purposes of learning: creation of dance, understanding of dance movements, and training of dance technique. The level of effectiveness was requested to select from 4 options, as you can see. Basically, the students evaluate the software to be useful for creation of dance and understanding dance movements. All 18 students chose effective for creation of dance. 15 students chose effective for understanding of dance movements. No student chose not so effective for these purposes. But the students did not think the software is effective for training of dance technique. This low evaluation had been expected because training of dance technique demands physical instruction, and the software was not designed for that. To verify the hypothesis, the free descriptions by the students in questionnaires were analyzed in detail. Every student described what they find as new movements of dance. 15 students described that they learned a new choreographic method. Although I didn't explain them about the method of analytic synthetic choreography. Here are typical responses from students. An American student wrote that I usually do not combine multiple elements together simultaneously, but was delighted to experience them. A Japanese student wrote, I realized that combination and permutation of movements gave me original choreographies infinity. This is exactly what analytic synthetic choreography is. The second experiment conducted with dance critics, we verified to verify the third hypothesis. 5 participants consisted of 5 Japanese dance critics who had been writing critical articles and stage reviews in newspapers and magazines for more than 10 years. 3 of them have experience of being a jury of contemporary dance competitions. The critics were asked to watch the video of 18 student performances and 3D CG animation which corresponded to the performances. After a comparison between the video and the animation, they were requested to evaluate how much refinement the students have done. We think the degree of refinement is more important as an e-learning tool than the degree of artistic achievement. That's why we asked the critics to evaluate the refinement. There are 3 aspects of refinement about dance choreography. Movements, temporality, and speciality. This is an example of the video which the critics watched. He is a Japanese university student, and his sequence is a little bit longer. This is another example. She is also a Japanese university student, and her sequence is a little bit shorter. The level of 3 different refinement was rated on a scale from 1 to 5. The number of total ratings on 18 students by 5 critics is 90. We got 90 ratings for each aspect of refinement. As a result of analysis of these figures, we found that the critics generally evaluated that students could refine the animation. In terms of movements, 70% of ratings considers that students can sophisticate the animation to create their own original dance. In terms of temporality, 72%, and in terms of speciality, 69%. We will have a brief conclusion. As a result of the first experiment, we verified the first and the second hypothesis. It is useful for students to discover new movements and also useful for students to learn a new choreographic method. The second experiment with dance critics, we verified the third hypothesis. The students can refine the dance sequences to create their own original artistic dance. In the future work, we increase the set of elemental motion clips, upgrade the algorithm of automatic composition, and improve the user interface of the software to promote discovery learning for new choreographic method of contemporary dance more effectively. Finally, I will show you the latest version of the software. We increased the number of motion clips by 3 times. The latest version has 118 motion clips, including 40 base motions and 72 body part motions. Due to this change, we need to rectify the user interface totally. We also improved the algorithm of automatic composition. The previous version composes movements one by one, but the latest version composes 10 movements automatically at once. This is the user interface of notebook PC. It has landscape layout, but tablet version has portrait layout. No, no.
You need some help or?
Okay. There are 4 panels in this software. This is creation panel. This is camera control panel and safe area and speed control. I'll select slide motion as base motion. And I select arms motions as replace motions. After, when I click that button, automatic composition button, 10 movements are created automatically. This is the first one. The second one. The third one. Fourth one. Like that. This arms motion is shorter than the whole body movement, so the timing of addition is decided automatically, randomly. And there are 40 base motions in 4 pages. This is the first page, the second page, the third page. There are jump motion and turning motion. And in the last page, there are floor movements. Okay, I select off balance backward movement as a base motion. And I select arms and neck and upper body motions as replace motions. Yes. And you can change the viewpoint. Like that. And you can rotate the stage. Oops. Like that. And you can also see the movement from the back. This is the first motion. The second one is here. This movement has neck motion. And but there are some problems in this software. If you select a floor motion as a base of synthesis, some movements cannot be performed by human body. For example, this is a base motion, and when I click this button, some movements cannot be performed by human.
You can do that, can't you, Roger?
Yeah.
Which can't be done.
But we do not think much of reality of movements because we found even an impossible movement may change into a productive seeds for choreography. We found that with collaboration with professional choreographers. Okay. Not important.
See, I can't believe you can do that.
Maybe not that quickly.
And this, the last slide is here. Yes, and the evaluation experience for the latest software was conducted here, thanks to teachers and students of the School of Media and Performing Arts. And more experiments will be conducted in Japan and the US. Thank you very much. Today I brought two Nexus 7. So if you want to try the software, please come here after the seminar. Thank you very much. Yes.
You have optical magnetic
Yes.
tracking.
Yes.
So I can understand the optical because you highlight,
Yes.
for example, what is the magnetic?
Okay. Magnetic motion capture system has two devices, like black box, and two devices are placed another side,
Yeah.
and that devices made magnetic fields, and dancer our performer have some devices around the body, and the computer catch the position, three-dimensional position from that. And it has advantage because magnetic system sometimes more precise position. The data was more precise, but it is difficult to process after. Yes, if you have any question, I'll do my best to answer. Yes?
So, what this seems like to me is that you have a language, if you like. It has elements which can be composed according to some syntax.
Language?
Yes, it's like a language.
Yes, yes.
The elements,
Yes.
and then you can make sentences, if you like, which are movements and so on.
Yes.
And sometimes these sentences are invalid, as you found out, but other times your software is predicting the form of sentences because it's generating certain movements automatically. And so part of the control is now going out from the designer, i.e. the person constructing the choreography. Does that create sort of usability things, i.e. in the sense that as a choreographer, I'm wanting something which I know, which I'm constructing, but what's happening is your software is sort of going down an algorithmic route and making certain sentences which I don't want. So it's creating verbosity that I might not wish to see.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I try to answer. At the beginning of the project, we tried to make some algorithm of ballet. It has very strict constraints to connect movements. So we could make some algorithm for ballet performances. It is for training. We call that an enchaînement for ballet lesson, and we can do that. But in contemporary dance, there are no standards. But as you said, each choreographer has dance vocabulary and dance grammar. So yes, this software has a vocabulary of particular choreographer in Japan. This motions are the set of standards of her choreography. So we are trying to make another set of vocabulary and another grammar with collaboration with another choreographer. That is our plan.
Right.
But then could it be interactive so the choreographer changes the language as they interact with the program?
That's what I thought.
Yes, yes. For now, there is no such option to change the algorithm for a particular choreographer.
But I would have thought it would be too hard to do.
That's what I would do. So basically, the choreographer's design that they've already got is the algorithm that generates the next set of steps.
Yeah.
Which, once you've got these seeds, as it were.
Yeah.
And so the question would be to just make it just a language,
Yeah.
and the composition is entirely dependent on the inputter, i.e. the choreographer.
Yes. Exactly, yes. So this is at the moment, this is the software for students. But we will try to make the software for professional choreographer in the future.
You've done all this sort of quantitative analysis on very low numbers, i.e., you tell us about 18 students and so on. I mean, wouldn't this lend itself more to, a qualitative discussion type of evaluation, which, then you actually have sort of concrete information as to design, to redesign the user interface, whereas I can't see the link to the next version coming from the analysis evaluation data from your data set, as it were.
Yes. Yes. For that, we need more output. But I try to more bigger experiment in the future.
Wouldn't the fair test to actually collect kinematic data from, rather than having a video of the students doing the dance, to actually motion capture of the students and actually get them and compare that to your dancing image and compare the two? That to me would be a fair comparison. Do you know what I mean? A fair comparison. If you're looking between the two, how well they're matching that your language compared to actually their kinematics, rather than, because if you're looking at something, if you're looking at the actual human being itself, it's not a fair comparison. Almost, if you could actually get the motion capture from the students onto them, you'd think it'd be more positive as well. Get some variables. That's what I'm trying to do. We could do that, by the way, here if you wanted to.
I was going to say, isn't there some obvious sort of mechanisms that the sports institute could look at this?
I literally had some footage of somebody doing some of those moves that you said were impossible. We collected some data today. We were very close to those. We've been martial artists. We have all this. We can do all that. We can do full body. We have the full motion capture systems here, so we can do that. So we were looking, because we can do it live. I mean, we can actually do a live performance onto a screen, actually record live very accurately now as a sort of dancing skeleton or image. We have the technology to do that. That's why I came. I'm just interested in seeing all these.
Thank you very much.
One couple of geeky questions on the movement. I was trying to look at what was going on with the wrist segments of the because have you got the wrist segment, are they locked in your design effectively? Can that rotation happen with the forearm? Because it's really, for dancing especially, I imagine there's quite lots of movements where there's the actual rotation of the forearm segment. It's a real problem with biomechanics trying to model that movement. It's not closed.
Yeah,
Legs nice. I was looking, because I imagine for dancing that's going to be, well, especially sometimes
Yeah, yes.
that rotation there from. So So you're not looking at it as like, is it as though it's locked? Does that allow for that rotation? Because it's something that I was trying to look to see whether it does or not, because that's a really complicated thing to try and model. I just wondered whether...
Yes.
There's another
for-
diagram, isn't there, that breaks this down further. Another skeleton diagram. on the earlier slide, where I think you've got that side. So if you go back to the humanoid, does that show a wrist fix on?
Yeah. She just used a single marker on her wrist.
The number 23 and 22
Yeah.
is a hand.
So one
yes,
mark
hand
on the hand,
Yeah.
and then one mark on the wrist.
Yes. The marker is not correspond the model. We adapt the data to this model. The marker has more than 30 on. There are more than 30, maybe 35 markers on the dancers. But the model has less joint.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
And-
I'll just.
yes.
One of the things, sorry, if I want some of the movements to do where, say, moving out the, sort of adducting their right hip, if they're moving the leg out, does the model compensate? Because you'd have to move if you're moving your right arm and right leg out, so you'd have to shift your centre of mass to stay still, would have to move other segments to the left. Does the model incorporate that? Because that would make, because I think for a natural movement point, it doesn't look, say, as natural. Understand that. So if you're doing this, you have to move that way. It's like if you push forward, you move on from that. If you move your arm forward, does the model? Because that's the thing. Because if it's doing that, there's actual effects on the other segments of the body that would have to for it to be a natural movement.
You mean this is not natural?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, this system doesn't have the constraints to make some natural movements.
Yeah.
It just composed randomly the motion clips.
I think it looks really good. I just like to add that. I was very impressed by it.
Yeah, but we can add some algorithm to create more natural movement in this software. For example, at the present, the dancer body goes through the floor, under the floor, but we can attach some constraints to the floor plane. And as you said, we can adopt constraints. We can adopt constraints about joint movements as real human body.
I think it has applications for so many things. I think for sports technique development, fits very close things like tennis serves and golf. So I think that's massive. To be able to, I think the thing would be to be able to, what we talked about, adding your own movements in, adding the movements of the arms that you've got, get the actual participant to actually do that movement and then add that into your data. I would see that as a progression that you can't do it now. You couldn't. You're at that point where I'd say that would be the future of it. Surely we can actually to be able to add individual movements, because everyone's movements are so individual. You can see it really. You can tell like when someone's walking, for instance. You can tell who it is just from the skeleton of somebody. It's very individual movements, and you could. I think adding those in would be. I don't think that would be that difficult. I've done stuff with computer games simulations where you're getting people to. It's all about returning to a similar point. So as long as you have a similar start point for the movement, it should be okay to add whatever movements as long as you get back to that point. I'd imagine. So doing the arm maybe, as long as they always started off arms in this position, as long as they came back, finished in the same position, a bit in between, I imagine you could add in. I don't think that would be too tricky. You just motion captures.
Actually, some video game has the algorithm of automatic composition. I mean, the dance game.
Yeah.
But more than 100 motions. So the video game choreography is more simple, simpler than this system. So, can I ask you how to use motion capture system in your school? What kind of research do you use the motion capture system?
For human societies, looking at normally, well, a lot of things. I'm looking at often human locomotion movement, so we use it for looking at effects of footwear on movements. We look at footwear, so shoes. We normally combine with a force plate underground systems. So you're looking at how the body's loaded, and you can do dynamics to work out sort of joint loading and forces around joints. Pretty much what I mean, it has multiple applications. We use it for skill, but most of it we do is on human movement.
We might not know the answer is in the sports department.
Yeah.
I think there are some specific research calls, which happen where Japan, through the Japanese Research Council. So maybe there is a possibility that you guys should discuss and see if there's an opportunity for looking at research funding between the real sector, your own institution, via the Japanese research funds.
I mean, this is exactly what I came to see. I talked to my colleague who couldn't make it, really wanted to come as well. Is that we haven't really looked into dance, particularly in our area, but we have all of it. We have run live shows in the Natural History Museum where we're recording full body data and the person's up on the screen. So we actually normally get people to dance because it's more entertaining. So we can do that live. We were looking at whether we could actually do a live performance where we have a live accurate image on the on a large screen, the actual performance happening there, but you see a visual on it, including loads of graphs that give you all the joint data, so you can actually see what's going on at the knees when they're doing it live. We were thinking that as possibly a performance piece. That's what's in the back of my head, but to actually develop some other research, we'd be interested, we really would. So something to talk about.
But couldn't we participate somehow in computer science for the software parts of that?
I'm sure you could, but I think they seem to have. Well, we would obviously.
Yeah.
But I think there's some natural synergy there. But just sort of picking up on your point about whether it could be used for sports side of things. So take golf, where if we had data of a proper swing, as it were, and then you've got the person being modelled, and then being able to compare, you'd be able to use that as an educational, as a training piece. Does that happen already? That sort of stuff might already exist.
The genius of it, I think, could be that you could, if you say you're learning a skill like golf swing, is an easy one to talk about. If you ever been coached on golf swing, you get taught to do individual things well. So it'll be also, say you do a day when I'm going to talk, coaches focusing on your back foot. You can get that movement perfect, exactly. But the rest of your swing then falls apart. Yeah. So you can actually get them to break down each skill within that kinetic chain. Okay, do the perfect foot, do the perfect knee, drop, and you can actually have a visualization of your perfect swing almost. I'm wondering if that's in the back of my mind. I'm thinking nobody's done that, unless I don't know. Nobody's. That's the beauty of this is you're breaking the body into different areas and adding them all together separately. I've never seen that done.
But there is a perfect swing, then there's a swing on your body, which still might get you the shot, but it doesn't look like it. But